God, it's almost been 7 years. It's crazy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Keating,
Present.
Snellings,
Present.
Reinhardt,
Present.
Schrader,
Present.
Brom,
Present.
Gurecki,
Present.
Beichman,
Present.
Ferris.
Present.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. First up, we have the approval of minutes from the February 23rd meeting.
Move to approve regular minutes, February 23rd, 2025, as written.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. Next up, we have public comments. If anyone would like to come forward at this time and speak to a maximum of 5 minutes, please give your first name, last name, address, and ward.
Come on up, Chris.
Anyone at all.
I have lots to say, but
We accept non-resident comments. All right, seeing none, I'll move on. We have no notices or hearings. We'll move into business and discussion items. First up is the request by the Kiwanis Club for the Easter egg hunt at City Park to close the entrance, and I believe we've done this every year.
Move to approve.
Do we?
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Is there further discussion?
Just wanted to ask, you know, a lot of it's already still blocked off because of the highway construction. Do they plan on being done with that?
Not at this time. It should still be blocked off. And if it were to somehow be done in time, we would make sure that we have enough barriers.
I would
But it shouldn't
just
be
say that I know parking without that being done is gonna be an issue, so I would just say let's
And we
mindful.
will make sure that where we block off on the north side is past the swimming pool parking lot, not before it. So that way,
Gives them a little.
People
Yes.
can use it, yeah, I was just saying, just be mindful of that, cause I know that
It's
it's
a
pretty
big
crowded every year, it's a
Yes.
big.
On the south
Yeah.
side.
Good.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. Next up, we have the city administrator contract.
I guess at this point, you know, we've talked about it in closed session because it is a non-elected individual. The Admin and Finance Committee has addressed this, and I would make a motion that we accept the new city administrator's contract agreement.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I just had a question on 2.3 as resident. Is there a reason it doesn't say like within the city limits of Marysville, since I'm kind of new to this group?
2.3 residents,
it looks like,
Maintain residency, it doesn't say within the city limits.
I mean, we can go
I
ahead.
mean, I know
It's
you have a house.
It is implied.
It's implied.
It's implied,
But
it doesn't
I think
state.
everybody can be
discuss that.
agreeable.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you do own a house here, but.
Within the city
residency
limits.
somewhere.
Yeah, yes.
Got
A
it.
good point.
Also, I assume this would be, the effective date would be when signed, so
Yes.
tomorrow?
I think that's what we
Yeah.
agreed upon in
310.
the admin and finance, that it would take.
Just since that's blank on the
Yeah.
approval.
Yes,
Then it-
and
it
so then it ends in exactly 2 years of March?
Correct.
Yeah,
Unless extended between now and then.
This date
As we're doing now.
Right,
Just-
correct.
this date will supersede the current.
Correct.
Right, so are we going to split payroll then?
That's a good question. I don't want to screw up anything.
Or do you want to make it effective at the end of the pay period or the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of this pay
Do that,
period?
that would make your life easier.
Where's the end of the pay period?
It'll be Saturday. Sunday starts the new,
To next Monday, or next Sunday.
the
Yeah.
15th.
Okay. All right,
So can I amend my motion
yes.
to accept the contract for the city administrator to be effective the 13th of March?
I think
15th.
15th of March.
Okay.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. Next up, we have ordinance 1951, the Youth Advisory Committee Scholarship.
Move to approve ordinance 1951.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
As you guys can see in my notations at the end, that this was discussed, and it kind of gives an outline of what we were leaving the amount being open-ended would allow council to determine scholarship awards year-to-year basis. That way we have a little bit of leeway for getting it bigger or keeping it the same, smaller if necessary. Hopefully not smaller, but
Right.
yeah, and that's kind of where we left that, why it was open-ended, so.
If this passes, we'll probably have a recommendation from the Admin and Finance Committee for a certain amount per scholarship at one of the future meetings before scholarships are ever awarded.
So are you doing for the kiddos this year, the 2 seniors?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without the essay and all the
Yeah.
glory, they're just.
Well, we have an application if they fill it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to
Well,
apply.
it says the
It's-
deadline's March 1st,
Yep.
so
Yeah,
that's why I
we-
was like.
We're going
so
to give
we
a
just-
special dispensation this year.
I would also like to note that they're not kiddos, they're young adults.
Sorry, young adults.
How offensive.
I know, I'm old, so.
So what are you making the deadline?
I don't believe a deadline has been chosen yet, but we do have scholarship applications. I don't think we included that with the paperwork today. But we have created
I was going to say, wasn't it mid-April? It's
April
like
15th, something like that.
Yeah.
Or even, mid-April, end April, would be good with either, just to give them a chance.
I think we put on there 3 small, like short essay questions, 2 to 3 sentences, maybe a little bit more. Otherwise, that's about it, you know.
I suspect if they choose to apply, we'll have answers. Well, they'll get them back promptly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Part of the reason they've earned it so well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and so.
All right, is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ito.
Thank you. Next up, we have the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ito.
Thank you. Next up, we have presentation of appropriations ordinance 3868.
Move to approve appropriation ordinance 3868 in the amount of $259,381.48.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Roll call?
Keating,
Yes.
Snellings,
Yes.
Reinhardt,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Thron,
Yes.
Gueracki,
Yes.
Bikeman,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ito.
Thank you. Next up, we have the city administrator report. Josh?
Yeah, so I believe in front of all of you guys, we have the Youth Advisory Committee application to be considered for that committee. These are being distributed this week to the high school. So that way we can get applications for that by, I think we put April 15th on that as well. For this, anybody that's going to be in high school can apply. They don't have to be at Marysville High School. But if they're not at Marysville High School, they have to live within the city limits. And so we also have the application on our website. Then we also have created a scholarship application, like we said. That will give them until April 15th. Luckily, this year we only have 2 seniors, so as long as they have applied, then there's a good chance of them being chosen for that. And then finally, we just sent out the flag design contest to all grades for all the schools in town. I think we were also planning on putting that on our website. We also have them in the audience today, so that way people can grab one if they want. But this is for, at the moment, K through 12 within the schools within Marysville. We left it wide open. Submissions can come in digitally, they can come in physically, they can bring them to City Hall, they can drop them off with their teachers. We tried to make it as accessible as possible. We also gave them until April 15th, so that way they have plenty of time to be thinking about their design. With students, you worry about, it being forgotten, so you try to set short deadlines,
Not
but
too far out.
on this, we wanted to give them plenty of time to really think about the design.
Just, that includes home schools as well in Marysville?
They could.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Any
and we can
K through
provide, yep.
12 age student in Marysville.
Okay.
We'll put it on our website, and anybody should be able to get access to it if they're a student.
And if anybody has issues, they can reach out to your governing body member and they can assist you in making sure you get your opportunity.
Yes. These past couple weeks, I've had plenty of time talking with Courtney Porter, and then of course with Tony Oler about the pool. They're making good headway as far as the work that's being done there. Manhattan Energy has been up quite a bit over the past few months trying to get the sand filter figured out, but then also polishing the slides and trying to figure out some of the roughness that people experience. We hope those will be solved. As we go into next year, we would like as we go into later this year, we would like to go ahead and submit a project for new light fixtures there, so that way they're more of the LED than the current ones, so that way it ends up saving money for the city in the long term. This should provide a brighter area for them, and so that way lifeguards can see all the swimmers, but that should come to the Parks and Rec Committee maybe in 3 or 4 months, so that way it can potentially be done either in the fall or next spring. Otherwise, we're still shooting for, a Memorial Day weekend opening. We plan to have the pool filled by the end of April, so that way we can tell if there's anything going on, and then be able to do any of the work that's needed if there is anything. Courtney has agreed to come back, and so we're already hiring lifeguards. She's going to water safety instructor training down in Salina, and so is Audrey. And so we hope that once they come back from that, they'll be able to, show everybody what they've learned as far as, swimming lessons goes, and be able to pass that on to each of the lifeguards. This week, Sammy is going to a city clerks conference in Manhattan. That'll be the back half of this week, Wednesday through Friday. So, Deb, Melissa, and Carrie will all be in here to be able to handle any questions if you guys have any. Otherwise, I'll be here all week. And then also, we just sent out newsletters. We're sending out newsletters tomorrow. Our quarterly newsletters, and in it we have an ad for a new deputy city clerk, and that is because Deb has decided to retire at the end of May. We'll be putting together a little banquet here, a little reception, so that way anybody can come in and celebrate her time here with the city. The first review for that position is April 1st. So once we have that out, we'll put it on their website, and then anybody can apply, but we're not going to be reviewing applications until then. In 2 Mondays, Jeff Sigler is coming, and so we will need to call a special meeting for that day, and then of course we'll have the council meeting later in the day. We have to call a special meeting just so we can all be in the same room together and try to have a workshop with him. We'll try to get times out to you soon, so that way you're able to go ahead and book that. But I believe it's early afternoon. I believe it's 2 to 5. That the city has him booked out. We'll probably spend an hour or an hour and a half with just city council with him though. The other time will be spent with city staff.
23rd.
Yes,
Where will that be at?
here.
Okay.
Yep, that will take place at City Hall.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
For Wayne? Do we have a established itinerary on where, when and where? Or have you put it out yet to?
It was in his email this morning.
Public one, ones.
Yeah,
And then there are others that many of you will be invited to as
perfect.
well.
Yeah, I know we discussed it at the last meeting, so I just wanted to touch base.
Perfect. Wayne, would you mind coming up and talking to us a little more about that since you're here?
Yeah. So some of the sessions that Jeff will be doing are for everyone, and then some are some smaller groups so we can do more specific work, for example, why he's going to be meeting with city council. So like you'll notice he has 2 small business sessions at 2 different times. Small business owners can come to both of them, or they can come to one of them. We try to do them like one's in the evening, one's in the morning to accommodate schedules. The one that we could really use your help with, we have a time in there, it's a lunchtime for, it wouldn't be anyone that's probably ever in this room or sitting at this table. It's those people who maybe are hiding in the shadows, or they're people who have ideas but don't know how to bring an idea forward, or they see something but don't know how to work the system. So it's not that maybe the people that are necessarily in the know, but they care about Marysville and want to make a difference. And so Jeff will help navigate that. And then he'll spend a couple hours with our larger employers and our developers and builders. They'll have a private session to talk about some different things. And he's also doing a private session with the Marshall County Young Professionals. Does that help, Todd? And Kyle, does that address what you're?
And as a reminder, Monday is the kickoff in the evening, but also there's a lunch that day.
Yeah, so Monday kicks off at noon, and that's for everyone. That's at venue 36. If you want to have lunch catered by Ally, you have to RSVP. Otherwise, you just show up. And then that afternoon, $15. The main dish is a barbecue chicken sandwich.
Where do you RSVP?
And strawberry
Yeah.
fluff, I noticed.
Do I just RSVP?
Go ahead and
Tell me.
email
Yeah.
Wayne.
Yeah, just tell me.
Just email me.
And then the afternoon is spent with city staff. And then off the top of my head, I can't remember what he's doing. Oh, Monday night then starts the small business session. Tuesday morning is small business session. He's also working with our local boards and church leaders to talk about how to strengthen your community from the organization's perspective. He'll do a downtown walking tour with, the mayor's included in that, and Will Ralph and myself and Rob Peschel will walk up and down Main Street and talk about things he sees and suggestions he has for things that we can do to make some
And
improvements.
that's on Monday also?
No,
No.
that's on,
Another.
I think that's on
I didn't even think about grabbing that, I'm sorry, I don't
Thursday,
know.
maybe?
I think it's on Wednesday. Because
Wednesday.
Thursday is community-wide cleanup.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, so Thursday morning, he's in all of the class, or in many of the classes at Marysville High School. They're changing their schedule so that a lot of kids will be able to talk to him about civic pride. And then the afternoon from 12:30 to 2:30, we're having a community-wide cleanup. So junior high and high school students are dismissed for those 2 hours. And by early next week, we'll release, here are all the places that we're gonna be cleaning up. So I reached out to Josh, Todd, and Will to say, are there places the city would like some help? At City Park, or any of our parks, or the cemeteries. I reached out to all of the churches to say, hey, churches, do you need help? Or do you have parishioners who need help with fill in the blank? Talk to all of our museums. There are certainly some alleys that need some attention, some ranking in Kester Park, it can always be done. Does that help? Sorry, I wasn't quite prepared.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Wayne.
if you go on our website, onemarysville.com, there's a whole section on Jeff Ziegler that will talk about all these public pieces. And I'll make sure I go to Josh or Sammy to give you his whole schedule, because you could go to any of those. Okay?
Perfect,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Wayne.
I've also been meeting with Robert Clemo, the Eagle Scout that was here. He is, of course, working on Lions Park, where we're working to get, the donated items to him. So hopefully he'll be able to get started within the next few weeks there. I know his goal is to be done sometime in April, so we really got to get moving on that. And we've already started ordering some of the stuff that he's needed.
On the point of Eagle Scout projects, or Scout projects.
I have not heard anything on that one
I was just curious what the
recently.
status was. I haven't heard anything lately either.
Speaking of the pool, when you were there, did they get the big final last chunk out of there that was shown in the photo?
Yes, I believe so, and
I
I'll
mean, they
double
showed
check on that.
big chunk,
Obviously,
but it looked pretty solid.
that will need to be out if it's not yet, but I believe it is out at this point.
Has a pretty good chunk.
Sand filter, you mean?
Yeah, the
Yes.
sand filter. It was in the photos.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yes.
saw it,
Yeah.
but it was like, ugh.
Yep, and, yep, so when we were turning over the sand, it was never getting actually
That.
turned over.
No.
You know. So, and then, of course, we are needing to set up a budget workshop, just with the way that, schedules are falling. It's probably not until the week of the 23rd that we are available. So I don't know about council's availability for that week.
Isn't that the week we were just talking about being
Yes.
busy?
Yes.
Good timing.
Yep. So it's either gonna be that week or it's gonna be the first week of April, that we're gonna have
First
to.
full week of April, so 2 weeks.
Well, it could
After
be,
What about like Monday the 30th?
yeah, I mean, that week
That'd be a good one.
would be fine with city staff as well, since it's far enough out. I just know these next 2 weeks for us are extremely busy. So.
You looking
But
for
I don't
comments
need,
on that?
I don't need any comments at this time, but we will be calling around, and trying to get that set up, so.
Okay.
Preferably not a Friday this year.
Yeah. Unless you're buying whiskey and dinner at the same time.
No whiskey on the city tab, sorry.
Well, that is
Wish I could bless
all I
that.
have.
So you mean no fun?
All right, thank you, Josh. Moving to standing committee reports. First up, the Admin Finance Committee report.
Yeah, so topic one, we kind of discussed already passed, that's self-explanatory. So topic two, the food truck application and tiered licensing proposal. So we discussed implementing tier pricing for food trucks that are further outside of the radius that normally come here, just to allow for them opportunity to come here and not necessarily have to buy a 6-month or a full year pricing. And if you're reading, you can see that we would offer no more than three-day licenses per vendor per year, and that would be $25 per 3-day license. We felt like that gave them an opportunity to be able to come into special events, or do like a trial period in the community if they felt like it would be worth it to return. And that's kind of where we arrived at. So then basically much past that, then they'd be looking at the 6-month license, but that kind of gave them an opportunity to not necessarily have to purchase that if they're only going to be here for a weekend. So we just kind of wanted your thoughts on that and see if that's something we could move forward with.
I mean, I think that gives a chance for some of them to try it out,
Yeah.
maybe, and get some variety, which is good for people.
Yeah, I thought that was a great
And it
idea.
doesn't necessarily need to go through us specifically, because as we discussed in the meeting, it would just be a new policy resolution. So we wouldn't actually have it.
It would come to council to be voted
Within
on,
the-
but
Yeah,
yep.
we could
Yep.
just, wouldn't have to amend the
Yep.
entire ordinance.
And Councilman Gracke has the pricing for the 6-month and 1 year. And so we kind of went off of that for the $25. Just trying to think about how many 3-day passes would equal 6 months.
Right.
You know, and
The next topic was the signage, awning, and mural guidelines. So we reviewed the current application fees for that, and I believe, Lori, you were the one that had brought this up, because it's, the base application fee would be $25 and then $1 per additional square foot. And we decided we wanted to kind of have a little bit more of an open discussion with full council, just to kind of see where you were coming
I
from.
can talk here, I cannot talk at your committee meeting.
Yeah.
So, the $25 base application fee, how big of a sign are we talking?
$25 is
So.
no square foot at all. It's,
That's
then
just
what
Yeah.
is
the
$1
application
So-
per
fee.
Additional square foot.
yep, so once you have like a 4x6,
Not really
then it's
additional.
$24 plus $25. So then that's the $49. Yep.
But, like you said, when we discussed this at the last meeting, this is something that we could do for our small businesses, that's $49,
Yeah.
that we could probably
And I should have notated that, like encouraging, so there would be a process that if someone wanted that, they could come before council and just ask, I believe, is what we.
Yeah, so I mean, that's always an option. What we talked about in that committee meeting was trying to figure out different ways to do it. There's, one way we could just change the whole pricing of everything and change it up to be more similar to what some other cities have, which were fairly similar to what we had.
Very
but
similar.
There was different things, more or less. But then the other would be keep it the same. But, if the council's really on board with this year, we're not gonna charge sign permit fees, and just telling people out loud, hey, this year, if you come ask council, we will waive those fees.
I would rather see a nice awning sign than price them out of even
Well, and then,
purchasing an awning.
the business owner I talked to, his argument was also like, I have to pay you guys to get permission to get a sign. Then I have to pay for the sign. And then there's probably gonna have to be work done to my building because new sign. And therefore my property taxes are going up.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, it's not worth my time or energy to put up a new sign because it's going to cost me more than what it's worth.
And that's
So
my
that
point,
makes sense.
exactly.
I guess my question would be, is it more the cost or the bureaucracy of having to apply for it that's the problem? I can't
think the
imagine,
cost-
signs are expensive.
They are.
$49 is probably not breaking someone.
I
It's
know,
probably-
but you put
is it the
that on
pain in
top
the neck
of a
factor?
sign that's gonna cost you how much?
$2,000, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'm saying,
I understand
that's
what you're saying.
$49 that we as a city
Well-
could be like, hey, we're supporting our small businesses.
No, I agree, and I mean, it's obviously nominal, but my thought was, people are gonna go, okay, great, but I still have to apply for it, so, thanks, but that's, I don't,
I think they
I'm
would
not trying to use
appreciate
clean
it
language,
more.
but they wouldn't like it.
I guess I'm in kind of in the same boat. Maybe you just have the application fee to have one,
Yes.
to permit it, and then you allow them to do what they want to do as long as it falls within the range of what we consider for downtown. I think the design committee with Marysville One has done quite a bit on that. And it just kind of leads into other thoughts of, okay, we have a new business, or we're going to charge them so much money to hook up their water, turn the valve on for them. There's a lot of things we could be doing
Yeah.
to kind of ease or show a more inviting environment for businesses, new residents, you can open up a whole we could have a discussion for 2 hours about that.
We could definitely grease the rails with that kind of stuff. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like, maybe the fee was the easier thing to
No,
argue.
I don't think and it was never mentioned like the price of the fee. He just wanted to know the purpose of the fee.
Yeah.
Like, why as a business owner am I paying a fee to put a sign on my building? That was his main question is, what am I paying for?
And I think
Equate
in
it
the-
to a dog tag, I guess.
Yeah.
I think in the committee meeting, we didn't really throw out a recommendation, because we thought of all those things. Do we take the work and completely, get rid of the fee schedule altogether, or do we just make it a yearly announcement by council, hey, we're just not gonna charge anything for this year, and leave it up to every council to decide? Or, there was just so many things we could do. I think
Right,
as
so
a
then I'm
committee, we
gonna
wanted
play
to see
devil's
what the
advocate and be
council.
like, how many sign permit applications do we actually get in a year?
I want to say last year, did we get 11? Or
11.
maybe
11.
less, because I think 4 were for one place.
So, next year you might have 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
So it's,
right.
it's not like we're making a ton of money on this fee.
No, and I don't think it's about money. I think it was legitimately just paying the cost of the city employees to do the paperwork and everything else. I mean,
Yeah, just
I get the mindset behind
The
it.
administrative stuff, yeah.
No, he hit it on the head there.
But I think,
administrative side.
but I think we didn't make a recommendation because we wanted to see what council wanted to do as a council. Because I think we're pretty open to anything. I don't believe we need to charge anything, but do we need to take the work to completely get rid of it and take it out of the hands of future councils, or do we wanna leave it open for future councils? So those were the things that we were talking about. We just didn't wanna bring a recommendation and be way off base, so we were just trying to get the rest of you guys' opinion on it.
I think everybody knows mine, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm on board with her. I would rather than add that extra $100 or whatever to even put up a
Sign.
better sign. I don't know.
So you guys wanna go ahead and
Yeah.
just rewrite the whole thing? I mean, obviously, we gotta have some kind of limitations, especially for the downtown area. So you guys wanna have a whole new?
But I think we have that, don't we? Don't we have the,
We
it's a
have
specific
guidelines.
downtown
Guidelines for
guidelines?
Yeah, I would take the lead from
Yeah.
our group that's taking care of downtown,
Yeah.
honestly. I'd take the lead and support the decisions that the design committee has, for One Marysville.
So just get rid of the fee schedule altogether, is that the consensus?
I would think that
Be okay with that? We've been talking about helping out small businesses, so this is one thing we could be doing.
I would think that if the design committee came to the council and said, so-and-so wants to put a sign up, we approve what it's gonna look like. We want your approval, boom, that's the administrative side of it, you're done. So,
So you
You
basically,
better clarify how, like,
The-
council doesn't.
That's what I was,
The
yeah.
council doesn't approve, so you've got two issues here, I feel like. We obviously want to have standards for how downtown looks with signs. I think we all agree with that. That's one process. And right now, that process is, they send Will, they fill out the form, send it to Will, Will sends it to me, the design committee reviews it and approves it, and once it's approved by us, then Will is the one who gets to say yes. Is that correct?
That's
Like,
correct.
so those requests, like, the council doesn't then sign off on a,
Well, if that-
on a design.
if that process is in place, I think we have what we need to make sure that people
Exactly.
put tasteful signs
Yep.
downtown. Cause that's what we're really talking about here at the end of the day.
Yeah, all those ones are downtown.
Yeah.
Within the.
Anything on the highway, the KDOT's gonna control that.
That's
I mean,
right.
they're gonna shut you down if you do the wrong thing, I assure you.
That's right. And One Marysville would be all in favor of removing this fee. I mean, Josh, we talked about.
Yeah, we have talked
talked
about
in
it.
like
And-
$800 last year,
Yep.
or this past year, so we're not.
And that was a larger year.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I say do away with
so
it.
do we need
Yeah,
to,
let's
I
just-
was gonna say,
We'll-
to
we'll
abolish
want it right
it, this
up.
needs to be rewritten.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we keep the
Permit,
permit
but not
process,
the
just no fee to go
Correct.
with it.
and
Yeah.
then
So
it
we
would
just have
keep
to
the
rewrite it.
same fine if somebody were to not apply though.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we can write that up
Bring it
and
back
bring
for
it
the
to
next-
admin, yep.
Perfect.
And something I just wanted to say about that as well, it's not really on the sign basis, but we also I learned something new in admin and finance committee meeting when I was there. Anybody, business, normal citizen, everyday person, anytime you want to have a fee waived or have an issue, you had a water leak and you didn't want to pay for all that water, anything you feel is unfair or you feel like you just want to have something waived, a fee, a fine, or anything, anybody in the city has the ability to come to council and ask for that to be waived or credited, or, I don't know, I know we don't do refunds, but.
Or even the
Depending on
committees,
what
if
it
they're
is.
not comfortable coming here, they can meet with the committee.
Right.
And then the committee can bring it to council. Like,
Just-
they don't
I
have
just
to
wanted
come
to
and
get
stand here and talk in front of all of us, but.
So I just wanted to get that out there,
Yeah.
just so people understand that, because that was something new that I learned.
All right, I think that was all the report. All right, moving on to the street committee report.
Well, I would say that what I brought out of the meeting was, I was very glad that Gary and Kevin were there. They're very engaged in the process. One, it was definitely a learning process. Two, I learned that they have a little fear of are we gonna follow through with some things? Because they get the phone calls before we do at the end of the day. You know, people see them on the street and wanna know why are you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Obviously, Hall Brothers talked to us about what they can do and their thoughts on the project out on the east side of town. What I would say is that we need to really come up with, and that's the one thing I took out of it, is we need to come up with a plan. And I'm not talking about just this project, I'm talking about the next 25 years. We need to come up with a plan on the direction we want to go with street projects. At the same time, we need to come up with what is our budget. And then what is it we want out of it? I mean, because if our plan says that we want to have good roads in 25 years, but then we coming back and say we want all brick roads, well, we might not make it in 25 years. So I know we look at a 5-year plan for the city, but I think this is a little different. On the budget side, you know, we have sewer, we have water, and we have storm, and we've all took a little flack over trying to fund those, so they're self-funded through people paying their water bill, their sewer bill. The one thing out of the infrastructure puzzle for the city, because I see 4, is those 3, and then you have streets. And we don't really have a total commitment to what are we going to commit to streets. I think the financial arm that's going to do that is a sales tax, and we need to be very committed to, we're going to commit 80% of sales tax to streets. The rest goes to wherever it needs to go. I don't know what the number is. There's going to be a lot of process going into that. But, you know, the original reason we had the sales tax was to build a levy, and then the rest was going to go to sales tax, and then it had a sunset clause. We decided to extend it, but we left it very open-ended on how we can spend that money. Because it just went, I think the term was general
Governmental purposes.
Government purposes. It's very open-ended. And it's honestly, it's one of those taxes that it's just not the residents in Marysville that are going to help fund it, you know. Another point that I took out of it, because I didn't want to interject my opinions in my report, but Jake noted getting the thought process of taking care of our streets that are in good shape and then focusing on everything else. And one thing that kind of comes to my mind, and I know that Michelle brought it up quite a bit in that meeting, was, you know, North Street. We're going to lose that street if we don't do something about it. Same thing within 2 years. We might want to, I know we just did a mill and overlay on 16th. We might want to do a onyx sealant on it. The highway is honestly still in decent shape, but we got to think about doing something about it. I know there's a misconception that might have came out of the meeting that, well, you know, if we're going to do this and spend whatever it is out on the east side of town, then we're going to have to do that every year to come up with a street program. That's not it. It's slowly start building a program and have something that we're not having to be reactive all the time to fix something. You know, be more proactive. One note that I listened to, Chris listens to it too every Monday. I listened to the county commissioners meeting. To give you on the maintenance side, to think about it, they approved, I think, 15 miles today for an onyx sealant. Yeah, and it totaled about 15 miles, I think, almost. You know, and that was $340,000 ballpark. Sounds like a lot of money. Think about it, 15 miles, $23,000 a mile to do that preventative maintenance and not have to jump into a big chip seal program, a mastic program. It's all about, you know, looking forward. It's kind of like when you have a pickup, you're not going to drive it 400,000 miles before you change the oil. You got to take care of things. Last note that I have, 2 notes. I think we really need to request, and I talked to Joss about this today, is get an electronic version of our street plan for the east side of town. And then, I kind of confirmed some comments that Chris has made. I don't know if he's made them in public, but that he's reached out to, the township, to Kyle Behrens. Talked to Kyle. Kyle reached out to Marty and the other individual on the board. I'm at a loss with the name. They flat out said, we don't have the money to maintain those roads, Keystone and 12th going south.
And they've always said that.
We are all on board with whatever you want to do. And I really think that if we very politically approach the county the right way, we could get some of the culvert/drainage issues taken care of beforehand as kind of a transfer of property. So I really hope that the street committee is committed to this, and we really want to work on a plan long-term, not just for the east side of town, but for the whole city in general. So that's the end of my comments. Sorry if I talked too long.
Add one more thing to that, Jeff. During that meeting, we were discussing concrete streets, and they told us they can actually do a mill on the concrete streets and overlay them
With asphalt.
with asphalt.
Asphalt.
Instead of taking a whole concrete street up,
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a good point.
mill it down, overlay it. We're done with it.
Can you explain a little bit about the onyx?
It's
I really learned a lot.
it's an alternative to, chip seal doesn't fix a road. Chip seal just adds structure. It is, the thing about concrete or asphalt is if you have a good water impermeable base, which would be part of your doing a reclamation, if you can keep the water from going down, because you've already fixed the water from going up, you're going to save that road for a long time. You don't want to do the onyx right away, but like what I caught out of the meeting today with the county is, well, that road's, we did a mill and overlay and it's been there for a year now. We want to do an onyx seal to get the oxidation. And so we don't lose, so we don't start to get a degradation of that structure.
Because the water gets in, freezes,
Right.
cracks, and that's what breaks it up.
Same thing with concrete.
Yeah.
You get a crack and it cracks and the crack gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So and that's the other thing that they really wanted to point out is that North Street by the cemetery, 11th Road going north, what we had on 11th Road and 12th Road going south were not asphalt designed roads. They were putting asphalt over a gravel base. And so there's been that misconception for a lot of years, and they really wanted to get that point across. And I will tell you that they are more than willing to work with us and work with Gary and city staff. So it, to me, overall, is a very productive meeting, and it was about time that the city of Marysville reaches out to a local contractor that's been in business for 100+ years, that's in the business of making roads and maintaining roads, and get some good advice.
The only thing I'd like to add, first of all, is I'd like to thank him for organizing it and publicly thank Jake and Rob for coming, being patient with me, because I'm a newbie and a learner, and they talked in my terms, and I took so much out of that meeting, so much. And I can't thank them enough for being willing to give up their time to come and speak, and thank you for organizing it. But otherwise, the one thing that Kevin questioned, just for an idea on the onyx that I took away, was Kevin asked if it was the onyx like south of Marysville, that one section where it's shinier.
I forgot about it.
And that was like their first year, right?
Yeah.
Jen? Their first year, and that was their first, and they really hadn't mastered the, what do I want to say? The technique. And so they did that sample because he said it's a little slick on his motorcycle. And so he questioned that, and they were very honest about it. But now, several years later, they have a much better chemical balance and what they're putting on, and it is working. So I appreciated their honesty. I appreciated really just everything they had to offer and their patience with me. So
Yeah, we did do some onyx in town in 2016. I think it was North 20th Street was an onyx, and I think it was some of that earlier that maybe it was new at the time. Even they said, they're like, this is a new thing.
yes,
So yeah, hopefully, yeah, it's
Yeah, much.
like everything else, the technology improves, the application, you get more experience, et cetera.
well, and having the people who designed it be our local business. You know, they live here too.
Yeah.
And
I did not realize, I did not realize the scope of
I didn't
the world
either.
they work in. I mean, they're clear down South Texas all the ways up to, you
Yes.
know, a very large area and where we're at, so.
You kind of touched on it, you know, we talked about it, I don't remember if it was at work session or what, about starting the legal work for some of the easements and things on 12th Road. Do we have anything in progress on that? Where are we
Outside of
at?
conversations,
What does it
we
take
have
to get-
not had conversations with residents.
It's one of
yet.
those, we want to make
Yep.
sure we have that conversation moving forward.
And I think that's a good point, Todd. You know, if we showed progress in taking over the township roads right now, and I don't mean it to put up a smoke cloud, but at least it shows that we have an intention of doing something. Because we know that regardless of what the final project is, we gotta take care of those roads.
Yeah, we have to.
Especially 12th, it's a connection.
Because it's a connector road. I think that if we had city staff and city attorney start going down that process of talking to the county and the township on what it'll take, but at the same time, making sure that if we're gonna do that, we're securing I think Will said it was a
75 foot.
75-foot easement on 12th Road so far. That's what we need to go on the whole way down. Same thing on Keystone. Long term, I talked to Josh about this today. You know, ideally, I'll probably get some flack about this. We need to annex the property that's out there, at least the residential property. If those individuals don't want to be annexed, we need to, I don't know legally if it's possible, but you need to come up with some funding strategy to at least, if you don't want to be in the city, this is what's going to cost you for the next 10 years.
Cost share to help pay for the road.
You know, it might be a low percentage of the project, but overall, at least they're contributing.
'Cause that's
And it might make somebody go, oh, I'll just be in the city.
Well, and that's held this back for a long time
Yeah.
on both Keystone and 12th, is nobody likes free riders. So
Yep.
you have to make sure it's not free riding, I guess.
And I think the majority of the people that aren't in the city probably would say, well, if you just take my residential, yes, you can annex me, or yeah, I'll go ahead and pay that for 10 years. So, and what that formula, I've had conversations with people about that, and there's no right way to answer that question, because that was the original problem. The cost share in 2019 was based on frontage. And how do you charge frontage to people at Hometown Drive or Keystone that aren't going to get an improvement on their street?
Right.
That's the challenge. How can you say frontage? Okay, well, so we get all divide up our frontage based on this, and the next person, their frontage is based on you know, half a mile? No, that's a tough. And I think what happened, and we just kind of turned it into well, you're all going to pay $2,400 a year, because they never came up with a good solution. So there's a lot of things, but I hope that the street committee's committed to continue to meet and come up with a good plan, because that's really what we need to do. And it's not just, like I say, it's not just this project. It needs to be overall, and I hope future councils and committees continue to make that effort, to make the commitment to that portion of our infrastructure in our community.
And personally, I don't want to have this conversation today and then wait a year before we can discuss it. We need to keep moving.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Progress.
saying tomorrow, but I would like to see us meet at least every 6 weeks and
Well, if we
work on it.
set some benchmarks, like, I
Yes.
mean, steps here, I mean, to that end, what, Josh, Luke, what do you need from the council, from the governing body, in order to have marching orders for starting to do the legal work? And put the, start reaching out, start putting it together.
Take baby steps, and if they would like us to have another committee meeting,
Right.
we certainly
That's
can.
what I mean, like, do you want another committee meeting to kind of hone that, or do you feel like you have enough to start putting things together?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I feel like potentially there's enough consensus here that we start working on that. A bit more serious than just conversations about what our next step should be. Obviously, we've already had that conversation of what do you do about township roads, if we're going out to improve them, we might as well be taking them in. But when we take them in, we're not necessarily going to be annexing, so it's kind of a lot all at once. So I think continue to have conversations with the township, but then in the background having conversations with the county, and then all the residents is going to have to be our goal. I mean, I think we can start with some of those easements too, though, that are already in the town.
The easements in the town are already there.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. I would think that the first step is the conversations with the county and the township, and get a clear understanding there. Because if we can get some help from the counties for some small little infrastructure things out there, I think it's well worth our time. And I personally think that just from a personal perspective, I think that's something that the committee should be approaching those representatives for the initial conversation. And then we have administration and legal dot the i's and cross the t's, just because of the relationships that we all have with local government officials.
So is the thought, or at least one thought, a road share agreement with the township and county?
No.
Okay.
No, we have that. We have that already.
Okay,
It's
have that
not
already.
working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the township has no money, and they're very honest
Okay.
about it.
Yep.
They'll have no money until they want to buy a new motor grader in about 5 years.
Yeah, as is a reoccurring issue with
Around
townships.
this, I'm sure,
Okay,
in all
yeah.
townships.
So as that shows,
Taking on those roads,
sure.
ownership of those
Yeah,
roads.
so-
But then,
Which we've done before in other places, North Street being one of them, but we brought it into the city so we could improve.
11th
things.
Road North was
Yeah,
a county
same
road.
deal.
That's it.
I would just recommend in your conversations, the committee or staff with the township, one of their biggest concerns with me when I had conversations with them was them trying to protect the residents from huge amounts of money and annexation. I know some things just have to be done in order to get roads, and I get that, so. But that, just keep in mind, that was one of their concerns, is just, helping out those residents. So that would maybe, from my viewpoint, that was probably their only hesitation from letting them go. So just keep that in mind when you have those conversations.
Duly noted.
With the commissioners, or who are you speaking?
With the,
Township.
Township.
Township,
Yeah.
okay.
I just didn't want this to be, the reason I'm pushing on the next steps is this is exactly the kind of thing, if we're not careful, it'll get kicked till a month or two from now.
Through my research on sales tax, I discovered that the 7th Street corridor got talked about by Todd Fry way before he was ever elected to office in a form. And I think that's been quite a while ago.
15, 16, yes, a couple years ago.
Yes, and that's what I don't want.
Yeah.
Right, and agreed. Yeah, the older I get, the more I realize that if you don't have the next step, then things will slip forever. So, you're gonna start talking to other entities as far as the county and the township?
I would like to have a committee meeting with a time that works for Josh and a time that works for a representative of the township and the county to start the conversation.
And sooner than later.
So we're not talking, we've talked about it in public now. I would like to talk about it in public with them in front of us and make sure that everybody's on the same page.
I suspect they'll be eager to.
I would say that we definitely, we could get John's attention. He's up for election, I think, here pretty soon. And, definitely, I think Kyle or one of the other guys would be willing to come to a meeting.
I think so too.
What's that?
And Marty too, yeah.
And Marty, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the third. I feel bad. I feel.
Steve Mosier.
Steve Mosier, oh.
There we go.
So Josh, can you engineer such a meeting?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get that set up, probably here, you know.
Good. All right, anything else?
Nope.
Committee chair? Thank you. Next up, we have Cemetery and Airport Committee.
The committee met February 23rd before the regular council meeting, and only a couple items were discussed. We decided on the chair, and we also decided and talked about some trees growing between the tombstones, so we could take care of those trees. And they did. Looked at the pictures, and they took care of one of the cedar trees. And I think the other cedar tree, I think they may just trim the branches up enough high enough, or remove it. So that was discussed. And I think you brought up, or Cherie brought up, maybe bushes along that east property line. I don't know what your guys' thoughts would that be.
It's on the south and the east there?
Yes.
Where it faces Landall?
Yeah.
We didn't know what the council thought was to put there.
My understanding was Dom doesn't like the spirea that's on the other parts of it because it catches a lot of trash. But it does block
But
it.
it blooms
In
and
the
and it
80s,
fills in good.
Spirea was all the way down
Spirea
Airport
barbarous.
Road too.
Was
Yes,
it?
it was.
Yes, it was.
It's a noxious weed.
Pretty.
Jeff and Dom
Okay,
have
we
been
know how
talking.
Jeff feels.
Well, I mean, I do
But, I
think
mean,
something is appropriate.
What
but
is the direction, I guess, prior to even me coming on the council? Was there a direction for when those spireas were taken out?
I think
They're about then.
that's what we're relying on the committee to do, is bring us
Okay.
a recommendation.
All right.
There were
Okay.
trees planted along there at one point.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and they did not make it. And they would have been a very slow growing way to kind of fill all those gaps, but that was the plan at that time.
We still have an arbor committee, don't we?
Tree
Still have a tree board, yeah.
Maybe get them involved.
Yeah,
Yep.
if we want to do a plant, I'd say yes, tree board. The other option, of course, and not an economical one, but I think would be great in a perfect world, is a wall.
Build a wall?
Yeah.
But that would be expensive.
Would they give recommendations what to plant?
Yeah, the tree board would be able to.
Who's
yeah.
on the tree board?
I believe at the moment it's Sharon Kramer, Dylan Palmer, and Rick Cudney.
That sounds right.
Oh,
Or no, we just changed.
not Rick?
It's Wayne.
Right, Wayne?
Wayne?
I think Dylan Palmer.
Dylan's still on there,
Dylan,
and is it Sharon too? Okay, I couldn't remember.
But is Rick?
No, then Rick would
Rick
not
went
be
off?
if Wayne is on.
Okay.
And you said
should be on
Sharon
our website.
Kramer?
Yep.
Phillips
Wayne,
Kramer.
Dylan, Sharon, and
Well, see,
I'd like to set up
I
maybe a
think
meeting
Sharon
with
Kramer went
them
off. and Sharon
out at
Phillips
the
went on.
cemetery.
I thought somebody.
And would like Dom present?
Yes, like them present.
Sorry.
Oh wait, say that again, please.
He wants
I'd like to set
he
up
wants to have a
meeting with the
cemetery.
Tree board with this committee
Okay.
at the cemetery.
At the cemetery.
At the cemetery with Dom present.
With them.
Okay. We will work with you guys on a time and a date to get that set up then.
And last thing is, we would like to know when the cemetery board and the airport board meet, so we could attend those meetings as well. That was it.
Okay. Under the bottom. Board committee.
No. Okay. Good deal. Okay, so, I think the tree board hasn't met in a while. It might be a good opportunity for them to have any other discussions we want tree board to have as well. Thoughts?
Yeah, that'll work. I feel like last year when they met, they were putting together a good plan. as far as getting just a catalog of all the trees in the city. But then that never really got moved further. So it'll be good to meet with this new group since, 2 of the 3 are new.
Gets these groups involved,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know, I think that's a key thing.
Me too.
Okay.
And then how often does the, like, airport committee and
As needed.
Since I've been
as
here,
needed?
they have not met. The Airport Advisory Commission
Oh,
and the
okay.
Cemetery Board have not met since
Yeah.
I've been
The
here.
airport used to meet more often.
Yeah.
Years ago when I was on it.
I was on it the last 4 years and we never met.
Well, before that, we met
Okay.
probably quarterly, I would say. It was quarterly at one time.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll get another meeting set up there.
Do we,
Thanks.
here's the tree committee. Do we know who's on the airport?
Yeah, it's all on
Online.
our website,
Yeah.
or you can reach out
I'll-
to
I'll look it up.
City Hall.
All right. And then we have the YAC report.
Yeah, so they basically talked about what I talked about, all the 3 YAC items. But then they were also supposed to have a video for youth cycling. Unfortunately, that did not happen, but that will take place at the next meeting, I believe, which is on March 25th.
Yeah, the
So
speaker
that's
could not.
Wednesday.
The speaker couldn't make it
Yes.
that night. And I know, is it the April meeting, they're gonna go speak to the school board as well?
We meet at 7,
I don't know the timeline.
6.
I know, yeah.
What time is that on the 25th?
It should be this, at 7 here at City Hall.
Would they ever think of meeting at 6? It always
It-
conflicts
I
with
think
another
they're
meeting.
trying to stay out of way of other activities on their end, like if
Yeah.
they have practice, and then maybe they can eat supper before they come. We let them steer that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
Be careful, if you give them too much, they'll put them at midnight, they're kids, they stay up late.
valid point.
That would work. I could nap and then come.
Oh, Lori. All right, I have no appointments or waste terminations. City Attorney.
Just been working on the documents that you had and voted on this evening, and finished up the contracts for the Frontier Development Group and the requisite documents for that.
Everything's good there?
Yes.
Didn't update on the survey. We have started the survey. We still haven't gotten the finished survey back, but this is still a pretty quick time frame for a survey, so everything is moving as it should be.
Good deal. Does anybody have a need for an executive session? No, I see nobody.
I do. It'll be a good one, I promise. All right, I move the city council, hold on, recess into executive session for consultation with attorney on matters deemed privileged in an attorney-client relationship about litigation or claims against the city to KSA 75-4319B2. This meeting will include the mayor, city council, city administrator, and the city attorney. The open meeting will resume in the city council chambers at 8:20.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Didn't speak.
You know.
Waiting for you.
now return to open session from executive session where no binding decisions were made. Does anyone have need for another executive session? Seeing none, we will move into council comments. Jeff?
I think I got 5 written down here, but I'll be quick. Ordinance number 1877, did we amend that with the new court enforcement position?
I will have to go look at that.
It was a 2019 code, and it named the city inspector to be the officer designated to be the code enforcement person.
I don't think we would necessarily, just based off of that, I don't know that we would necessarily need to amend it.
I would take a
We could
look.
also designate somebody else without an ordinance.
Okay, well, I'd at least take a look at
Yeah.
it, because I think the point I'm making is that we've had a code enforcer.
You said that's 1877?
1877. I think it was 2019. Keith brought up something about some local incentives for people to build homes, to come to the community. And these comments are directed strictly towards new homeowners or individuals building a new structure or rehabilitating a structure. I think we ought to maybe kind of take a look at like some kind of a city abatement program similar to the county-wide tax abatement program for, I think it's a 3-year program.
Yep.
I think we ought to take a look at that. A lot of people say, well, we don't want to give up that tax money. Well, I'd rather give it up for 3 years and get it back after that. And to lead into that, with the recent utility increases that we've had to support our water, sewer, and storm, I think that we ought to take I'd like the committee to at least take a consideration of, if I have a property in town that I bought, especially, and I'm just thinking of a condemned property I bought, and then I'm trying to fix it up to rent it out. Could we give a little slack, and honestly, I think abate turning the water on and off so they're not having to pay that minimum $70 fee is what it kind of calculates out to based on the meter size. And at the same time, if you are building a new structure in town, and I'm talking residential, could we think about, one, abating the hookup for hooking into city water and city sewer, and then the fee for I don't know, a certain time frame of utility cost. You know, if it's 4 months, 6 months, a year, it kind of goes back to the conversation that we had about the signs. Are we really making a lot of money going out and turning a meter on and off? And are we in the business of making money doing that?
That was discussed at one time. I don't know if it was a year ago or 2 years ago.
It was last year.
And about waiving the hookup fee for a new home from the street to the house. As an incentive, you know,
I don't think it's just that. I
We
think
never talked any further beyond that.
I think there's a lot that goes into it, because if I buy a lot in town that has a house, I tear it down and I already have a water meter there, and I go, well, I'm gonna shut the water off because I'm gonna build a house here in 2 years. Well, should I have to pay to have it turned off and then pay to have it turned back on after I put a property on the tax roll in the community? So just food for thought, that's all that is.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of room and area that we could go into that. I mean, that's a broad.
There's definitely room
Yeah.
that we can
Yep.
continue talking within it. I would say we already offer a lot of those incentives that you're talking about. We had talked about hookup fees, and we actually changed that from, I think it was $100 down to $60 within the last 12 months, maybe even
Yeah,
a
it
little
was last year.
extended.
I think zero, and then I would abate the utility
I was gonna say, but
cost.
then also there's an economic incentive that I feel like Sammy might be able to go through the application with.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
For new construction,
Yes.
so, it's up to $1,000 of city fees if you're building a new structure. So that would include your.
So that's a very good point. Is that on the website?
It is.
And where do you find it at on the website? When I go to the City of Marysville's website on the very beginning?
And that needs to be on that,
That needs to be on that web page that is all encompassing.
and that one sheet of like, these are these things, that needs to be on that kind of sell sheet.
So there,
And while we didn't go into details on it, it is in the newsletter that's going out this week. So, hopefully,
Timely.
people will have that in their mailbox.
okay, you're one ahead of me,
And
Josh.
Wayne, did you copy that? We'd like that on yours? Okay.
And Jeff, the one thing, I mean, I definitely think the abating makes sense. When it comes to like the rates over time, I start to question whether that's where we should be putting abatement resources. I worry more about, and the people I talk to, less about the people who can afford to build a new house and more about the older retired people on fixed incomes. Because that's, I mean, I don't know how we're gonna structure any kind of abatement for them, but I almost want some sort of longevity abatement. Like if you've lived in your house for 50 years, we're gonna give you a deal. I mean, those are the people I'm more worried about.
At the same time, if you're 80 years old and move to town and buy a home because you don't want to live on the farm anymore, well, you haven't been there. But I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So to keep it simple, keep moving on here. Street vendors, we've had a conversation about that on the licensing. When they get their license, do they get something that reminds them on what these sales taxes they're supposed to collect for Marysville? Because I would question whether or not, do we?
We do not send that out.
I would question it, just thinking outside the box here, if I was a street vendor and nobody's gonna push the issue, it's kinda like the early days of Amazon where we never collected sales tax.
That is on their application that they have to be.
Okay.
Prove that they are registered with the state.
And when they get their tax ID through their business, the state tells them what the taxes are.
Well, the state tells them, but that's kinda, we're going on the honor system for them to collect it
And how
too.
much they take.
So-
God, you're working on collecting.
The last thing, the house on the corner here. Don't wanna open it up for a big discussion, but if there's any property in town we need to condemn and the city needs to take it over, it's this one on the corner. I think,
Sure, that was just purchased, and somebody's supposed to be fixing it up.
I would like to see
Right?
them get going on it. And I think that we ought to give them at least a little notification that you need to get going on
It
it.
was purchased not very long ago, I think.
Yeah, I think they did clear up some of the overgrowth around it, so you could tell something's going
And
to
there's
happen.
new signs out.
Are there?
Yeah, there's new signs
No,
on
no
doors and
trespassing
stuff.
and, yeah.
Yes, those ones.
I think we still need to, make sure they understand that we don't need to have people driving up to City Hall and seeing a property like that catty corner to it, so. That's all I have.
All right, Lori?
I have one thing. Can we have somebody please look at the ADA ramps at 9th and Center?
Yes, I
'Cause
wrote up a
apparently
ticket
they're-
today.
I don't know if the
for that.
street,
Yep.
it's something, I don't know if it's the ADA ramp sinking or the street, but they said there's a big, like, little jump over. It's
10th and
not a
Center
smooth little,
also needs replaced.
yeah.
That one was
Look at
also.
those. That's all I got.
Those are speed bumps.
Is that what it is?
Okay, the one thing I don't know if we've addressed the ballpark, is ball season's about starting on handicap accessible, on where we were with that. Since I'm, like, I can use this new card for a little bit yet. And then, did I just open the camera?
No,
Okay.
it's fine.
And
Absolutely.
then the police and fire committee met, and I reached out to Sammy, and I would like a meeting there where, unfortunately, we've overlooked the fire department for 25 years. It was 2001 was the last time they got a raise. They've not asked for one. I don't want you to think that they're backdooring anything. They haven't. Fire department's a special place to me. My daddy was on there for a long time. Got the first jaws of life, by the way. So it just has a little special place in my heart, and I feel like we've kind of ignored them, not unintentionally, for 25 years. So
is that something the police and fire
fire
committee
would
should
like to meet, and I've asked Sammy to organize a
There you go.
meeting. So just a heads up to who else, the others that are on that committee with me.
As far as the handicapped accessibility
Yes,
at
could you-
Lakeview, where are we at with that,
Could you
Josh?
update me on that?
Since that committee, other than, I think they've I'm trying to think. I don't think we worked on the sidewalk at all. There is some concrete work that we're needing to do down there. So I'll push for, concrete work for sidewalks to be, done at the same time. As far as the stands, that is something that the Parks and Rec Committee will have to continue to talk about. I think the quote we got was it close to 52,000, somewhere around there for two, stands. So, it's just something that the committee's gonna have to continue to talk about. It's not very easily, added onto or adjusted. So that's why we also were having the conversation of more just,
Concrete,
yes, having that option.
anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could
So we
just
really
make the
haven't done
bars-
any
The
design.
bars
on that
on the
committee
back
now.
of the bleachers lift up,
park.
and there's
We
just
need
set
to-
a telehandler
who
there.
else?
The handicap can get on there, the telehandler can lift them up, and go right in the stands,
You know,
be
we could
done.
use a good telehandler.
Yeah.
What?
Your own parks, your own parks.
Yeah, Parks and Rec, yeah.
Okay, so it's you two and who?
You're on.
Kevin, Jeff, and Kyle.
Oh, you're in Parks and Rec.
Jeff
Kevin-
and Kyle.
Jeff?
Kevin is the chair.
I know, I was.
Jeff's looking a little blankly.
That's all I know.
elected chair.
Kevin's
Oh,
the
yeah,
chair.
yeah. He wasn't there that night.
I was gone that meeting, yeah.
That's what happens.
Hey, when the bus calls, you got.
But just to confirm, there's been no work on the sidewalk design or anything?
I don't believe there was.
Lakeview or next to Lakeview?
Yeah.
Okay.
At Lakeview, I don't believe there was any work on that sidewalk.
Okay.
There is some other concrete work that's needing to be done in that area to help with the drainage, making sure that it's not continuing to go in the ball field. So at the same time as that, we'll look at that. And that doesn't need to go to committee though.
Is that soon, or is that, do we,
Yeah,
Okay.
it is soon. I just don't know
whether,
weeks. Yep.
you know,
Yep.
whether
First
it's
ball
CMAC,
game
you have
though,
to,
I think might be 24th. Yeah. Yep. March 24th. Yep. So it's coming up.
what's March 24th?
First ball game.
That's
down there.
what I, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Anything else, Michelle?
no.
Okay, Chris?
Couple things, got asked about the aerators at Lakeview, that, those get turned on in April, am I correct on that?
They should be getting turned on within the next, month or so. Yeah.
Okay, alright, that's what I
Are you
told
thinking-
people, but I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I know it's just warmer, I don't see any cold snaps coming, so if it doesn't hurt anything,
just-
Haven't looked at the weather.
It's only gonna get down like 30, and it's not real cold.
and that won't
17 degrees
affect,
Sunday
that
morning.
won't affect them.
Yeah,
But do we
because
have
they're
to
on
change like the filters and stuff to get ready, so maybe start thinking about that. There's already
We'll look
lots of
into-
fishermen
yep.
down there, so
Big
live
grill.
fish would be great.
Going back to the beach.
And then the water reconnect fee or whatever, when we talked about that, the reason we didn't go to 0, I believe, is because that $60 was the lowest amount that we could charge in case somebody had it turned off and left. That's what would cover that last month's fee, I believe, and so
that
that's
time.
that's why there was still a fee. Just so you're aware of that. Because we did talk about just eliminating it or something, but that was the reason we said that. And then, what do we charge for a sewer tap fee?
I would have to,
That sounds right.
What?
$250.
$250, okay. So yeah,
It's
that's
different
something
for
we could definitely
residential
look
and
at.
commercial.
Okay. And then, any movement on code inspector?
yes, but we're not doing the first review of applications until the 20th, since that is how it was.
Oh, is that
posted.
the end date, is the 20th?
Yes, but we already have a number of applications.
We do?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then, last thing, I just heard about this today, but it just shows to the level of professionalism and training in not only Marysville, but the surrounding communities. In Blue Rapids, just maybe a week or two ago, I'm not gonna say any names, just to keep it in case somebody knows, but they actually saved a young man's life because of training with the AEDs. They had one quickly. The Waterville Fire Department went down, and had they not done CPR, I was told, before the AED and the police officers got there, you know, that's how well our volunteer firefighters, just to say again, they're very well trained and they're saving lives. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those who were involved in that. I mean, it was a lot. There were people coming in off their shift to help out with it and things. So just kudos to them, and just goes to show how well trained even our volunteers are. So that's all I had. Awesome. Kevin.
Yeah, just glad to see the street sweeper out. Looks like they've been hooking up a lot of goodies around town. So, that's all I got.
Go.
I would like to potentially next meeting have a conversation about Dargits Park and where we're at on that process. Just because we've had multiple donors looking at wanting to improve what's there, and so there's a lot that's getting brought up, and I think that we probably need to have a open discussion about that as far as what they're looking at doing, timelines, where we're at as far as making improvements and our buy-in, which I feel like was brought up as a stipulation for some of these donations to go through, that there needs to be some buy-in from the city, and I agree. So this is something that I think that I would like to formally discuss at the next meeting, just to maybe bring everybody up to speed if everyone doesn't know what's going on yet. So
All you got?
that's all I got.
All right. Keith?
I just want to add something to what Jeff said. When I brought in that report of different cities lowering property tax, it was most of that was towards senior citizens. And because they're just strictly living off no job, just Social Security. And so I think we need to keep pursuing that, what we can do for our senior citizens. And the other thing I think Michelle brought up, digital speed limit signs. I drive through a lot of towns, and I've been seeing them more and more popping up. When you see them, they actually make you look down and see how fast you're going.
Yep.
Rather than the regular speed limit signs. So I think that's something we should check into if we decide to raise the speed limit 50 down to 36.
Did they tell you your speed, or it's just a
It tells
digital
you.
sign as opposed to a
Some do both.
No, it's an actual speed limit, digital
tells you.
speed limit
That
sign.
stays on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seneca just put one up.
Yeah, and it tells you how fast you're going.
Yeah.
Blue Rapids
Blue Rapids tells you how
How
fast
fast
you're
you're
going.
Frankfurt's got one.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
Frankfurt
police
has-
chief there in Seneca, Dylan Blevins, contacted, I believe, Kansas Department of Transportation, and they did a traffic study. And then from that, he was able to put up those signs. So I think it's worked very well for them.
Maybe that's something to put on the police and fire committee call.
It makes me look down and see how fast I'm
Yeah.
going. Actually look down.
Yeah, well, you're just trying to challenge it, see how high.
That's why I get
Slow down enough to make it through.
Turn the air brakes on.
Drake?
I don't have anything.
The only thing I had was, as we discussed earlier tonight, the YAC applications are out, the flag designs are out. Please, flag design entries are out. Please encourage kids in your family, church, household, in your orbit that, to be involved in both of these, to apply for the YAC. I think it's, some of the best people on there may not be the ones who are in every group and, doing everything else. They might just have some really good ideas, so please encourage that. And same with the flag. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the coolest designs come out of the kids who aren't even in the art program. They've got a nugget of an idea. So be really excited to see those come back. So please encourage anyone and everyone, nephews, children, grandchildren, whatever.
And we're accepting all types of submissions, digital.
Correct.
Or physical, it can be
Please don't use
designed in
AI, but other than that.
Photoshop or wherever, but Canva.
Chris has a question.
But otherwise, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to ask a question, please, because the legislators are here Saturday. And what are you hearing from the league about the property valuation caps and the budget process and the potential that you have to have a special election if there is a petition? What is the league saying, and is there any expectation that you can stop some of this?
Yeah, I did not prepare for that much of an answer for tonight. However, they have been sending out things to all of our legislators here in town, plus city staff, just to keep us aware of where it is all going. I would say that they do not, based off of what I feel I know, they do not fully endorse it. However, they understand that it has a lot of support right now within the legislature, so they're trying to change it just little by little to get at least some guardrails on it, so it does not go as crazy as it could go.
And I did fail to
yeah.
mention that the legislative forum is this Saturday at Land O'Lane's. Doors open at 8:30, starts at 9, over at 10, doesn't take all your day. And I'd like to encourage as many of us that could be there to attend. I plan to attend, but you'll be there. Yeah, you talked about it. But yes, so I spoke with Paula tonight before I got here to make sure I had my times correct, so.
Could you say the times again?
Doors open at 8:30 and it starts at 9.
It's a good opportunity to go.
Absolutely.
Talk to your legislators about these issues and other issues and just in general.
Yes.
Communicative.
And they did talk about that at Government Day as well.
Yeah.
I know some of the concerns from the league, as far as from what I understood, is it was one of those things that I believe and I could be misquoting this, I hope I'm not, but my understanding was the league was they were kind of against that happening because they're taking the power away from the cities and, and the state ruling the cities kind of. So I know that, I remember them talking about that. They didn't go into great detail, but they did caution us to keep an eye on it and call our legislators and let them know what our feelings are and how to protect us from anything crazy happening. So,
Well, but the thing you gotta be careful is, at the end of the day, they're trying to limit property taxes. And if we start getting to the point because we might have times we have to raise property tax, especially if a sales tax sunsets and we don't have it anymore. I mean, gosh, if we lost our 2 sales taxes right now, we might be talking about a 20 mil increase, 15 mil increase. So it's a very important thing to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I would agree. And also, smaller cities cannot weather a 3% cap as easily as larger cities can.
Right.
That 3%'s a lot less than what those larger cities have.
Okay, anybody have anything else?
Thanks for the question.
Move to adjourn. Second.
It's moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?